Welcome back to the Loadout Lounge. My name is Seth Nichols. Today we're looking at the $30 budget Christmas stocking stuffer options that I found. Let's get into it. So I have went on Blade HQ like I did with the $20 option. If you've not seen that video, look at that. But I put a cap of $30 on these knives. And it could not be $30. It had to be less. So $29.99 was the most expensive blade I could purchase. Anything below that, I really wanted to be above the $20 mark because I didn't want it to be the same knives as that video. So all of these knives are completely different than what I put in that video, and I've got some good ones for you. So let's look at them. So the first knife was one I thought really looked kind of neat. It is the Cold Steel Kyoto 2, and it's in a SKRC sheath, so it snaps right in there. It's not going anywhere, but it is a wicked looking little knife. Reminds me of a sword almost, but this is the Kyoto. It says Kyoto 1, but the price and what I ordered was Kyoto 2, which I'm not complaining. As far as the price, $20.95. It is our least expensive knife. It came from Blade HQ. It weighs 3.2 ounces. Overall length is 6.75 inches with a blade length of 3.38 inches. The blade thickness is 0.12 inches. The blade style is, of course, a Tanto. It is made out of 8CR13 MOV steel, and the handle is rubber. That is not an actual strap, or it looks like it, but it is actually rubber, which is pretty cool. Feels good in the hand. I'm able to fit my whole hand on it, all of my fingers. It is just a cool little knife that looks like a mini sword. If y'all didn't know, I have a letter opener that looks like a sword, so this may become my new letter opener. But it does not come with a pocket clip. You could wear it as a neck knife, or you potentially could get a ulti clip and put on this and pocket carry it. The next one comes with a lanyard. So we already know this is a neck knife, and I was actually surprised at, I don't want to say this and make it sound like a negative, but I was surprised at how small it was. The pictures don't do it justice, and I did not look at the measurements. But this is the Kershaw Brace. So it is a small little knife. It is a neck knife. One thing I do like about the sheath on it is it can be put in at any direction and work just fine. It goes in there, it's secure. So I got this off of Amazon. It weighs 0.9 ounces. It has an overall length of 4.9 inches with a blade length of 2 inches. It is a drop point, also a neck knife, and it is full tang with 8CR13 MOV as the steel. It has some jimping up here, which I actually enjoy. I'm glad that they put something up here on the knife. I like it when knife makers put just a little bit of some jimping up here. That way, if you're holding it and you're wanting to do some fine work, you can use it and get a little bit more grip. So I do like it when knife makers do that. The actual handle material is a glass-filled nylon scale on it. I don't know if they make, if you could find alternate handle scales. The only knife you can order online was the black. It is a little skeletonized. It's very lightweight, coming in at 0.9 ounces. This is a cool little knife. And for $22.05 is what I picked it up off Amazon for. It's not a bad price for a neck knife, albeit you can get a much bigger and better knife for just a little bit more as far as price. Just depends on what you're wanting to do and what you're wanting to give whoever you're buying it for. If you're buying it for yourself, I'd say just buy all of them. The next knife is one that I really like, but it reminds me of the Gerber Dibs with the sheath. In fact, it's very, very similar, if not the exact same, and that might be the reason why they did it. But this is the Gerber Stow. It comes in a leather sheath, and it really resembles the Dibs, and I will put it up here right next to it in just a second. But this was $22.99, and I bought it off of Blade HQ. It is 2.6 ounces. Overall length of 6 inches with a blade length of 2.5 inches with a thickness of 0.12 inches. It is a modified clip point. It is full tang, and it is made out of 440A high carbon steel. And the handle scales are micarta. I really liked that they made the micarta just a little bit narrower than the actual knife itself. It makes it round over a little bit better in your hand. It fits. I'm able to fit all of my fingers on the actual handle and have just enough to where the blade is the only thing that's holding or coming out of my hand. Again, no jimping on the back of the blade, which is not the end of the world. It does get a little thicker right here where your thumb would be, so it kind of helps with being able to grab a hold or keep a hold of the knife and have your thumb on the top. But I am going to grab the Gerber Dibs, and we're going to look at the sheath first and foremost. You tell me, that looks exactly the same. Alright, now let's look at the blades. They're probably going to be very similar too. You be the judge. It's a very similar knife, if not the same angles and everything. It's just the Stow has handle scales on it versus the Dibs. Interesting. Whenever I was researching the knives, I didn't see that. I don't know if that's something that they meant to do. I know they meant to do it, but I don't know if that's something that they've broadcasted out to everybody saying, hey, this is the only difference between these is this has handle scales on it. So, but the Gerber Stow, pretty good knife. All right, the next one is the CRKT S.P.E.W, or for the long version, it's Small Pocket Everyday Wharncliffe. This is another neck knife option, or with the sheath on it, you could put an ulti-clip and pocket carry this. This one was $24.97 for the blade, so sub $25. It is not big enough for my pinky. It does come with some cordage on the end of it, so it's able to get a good decent hold, a decent grasp. It has some jimping on the spine, and it comes down to a pretty intimidating point right there. So much so that I'm very nervous to be using this and have it around my fingers, which I'm nervous around any blade. I don't want to say nervous, but I'm mindful around any blade. But I feel like this one, it's a slicer. I'll tell you that one. So $24.97 off of Amazon. It is 1.8 ounces. And it has an overall length of 6.25 inches. The blade length is 3.02 inches. It's just a cool looking little knife. Let's see here. It is a Wharncliffe blade. It is full tang. It is made out of 5 CR15 MOV, and it has G10 handle scales. And the G10 has just enough texture to feel pretty comfortable in the hand. It is a smaller blade overall, but it is a decent knife. I've had actually a couple of my viewers recommend this to me, and primarily why I picked it up, so I could compare it and see what's all about it, or what it's got going on. $24.97 for this blade. Not a bad little Christmas gift if you're going to buy this for somebody. All right. Next up, we have the Buck Knives 684. So this one, I pulled out of the sheath and it was shocking. It feels pretty comfortable in the hand. The Dynaflex rubber is what the handle is made out of, and it's grippy. I don't know, it just feels a little different. It gets a little slimmer. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but it's concaved into, or convex, I don't know how you want to say it, but it is a little bit hollowed out in the actual side of the handle right there. So it kind of fits my hand. There is a little bit of a hot spot right there whenever you grab a hold of it. It just kind of pinches the hand. So I don't necessarily like that. But if you hold it kind of a little bit looser, you don't have it all the way up into your finger. If you hold it just a little bit down, it fits in your hand just a tad better. It has some jimping on it, but it was $25.99 on Amazon. It is 2.8 ounces on weight, 7.5 inches overall length, with a 3.5 inch blade. So that is not too bad. And yes, I'm using my phone for my notes. I hope you're okay with that. If you're not, I'm sorry. But there's no way I was going to remember all of this stuff. And the reason why I mess with my phone is because it went to sleep on me. But with the Buck Knives, it's a drop point blade. It's made out of 420 high carbon steel stainless. And like I said, it's got the Dynaflex rubber handle. Not a bad first blade if you're going to give this to anybody. The sheath leaves a little bit to be desired, but it gets the job done. It is a belt carry, a nylon sheath with a little button strap or button buckle, and it comes right out. Not a bad little blade, especially for the price, $25.99. The next one you have seen in my video is not the same version, but it's a variation. My Walmart video where I went in Santa Rosa Beach to see what kind of EDC items they would have there. But this is the CRKT Minimalist Spear Point. And of all the blades, I was hoping whenever I went to Walmart, if they were going to have a Minimalist, I could get this. I ended up getting the cleaver. Still not a bad knife, but I like the look of the spear point. And of course, with the Minimalist, you have the grooves where they go into your fingers and you are able to grab a hold. Pinky doesn't grab a hold of the metal or the handle, but it grabs a hold of the the cordage at the bottom of the knife. It is a neck knife, but I'm sure you could attach an ulti clip or some type of pocket clip or belt clip to it. I like the CRKT Minimalist. It's just a small knife for not that bad of a price. This one is a little bit more expensive than the cleaver style blade that I got. I think that one was like $17.99, but it was on sale at Walmart. This one I picked up for $29.95 at Blade HQ on their website. This weighs 2.4 ounces with an overall length of 5.19 inches. It is 2.15 inches blade length, and its thickness is 0.13 inches. It is a spear point, and it is full tang. It's made out of 8 CR13 MOV steel, and the handle is made out of polymer. I really like this groove right here at the top of the spear point, or top of the blade next to the spine. It makes the blade look really cool. I know there's a use to it, and there's a reason why they put this here, but it's pretty cool. So that is the CRKT Minimalist Spear Point. Next up, we have probably the biggest blade out of both videos as far as weight and as far as size. It is a cool little knife. It's not little. It is the Cold Steel SRK-C Compact. I picked this up off of Blade HQ for $29.99. So it just barely beat under the $30 budget. So it does have the SKRC sheath with a nylon strap around it and a buckle at the top. It is very, what you're hearing rattling around is the buckle itself. That blade is not going anywhere. It is 5.1 ounces as far as weight, and yes, there is oil on it because it is made out of SK5 steel, and we don't want it to rust. So I picked it up off Blade HQ. The overall length is 9.5 inches. The blade length is 5 inches, and it is 0.16 inches thick. It is a clip point. Like I said, it's made out of SK5 steel, and the handle is Cold Steel's Cray X handle. Does have a lanyard hole at the bottom. Fits my hand plus maybe another finger. It is a nice knife. It is a good knife. If I was to pick a compact fixed blade, there's nothing better than the Cold Steel SRK-C. Man. But there are some other options as far as pricing and maybe a little bit smaller of a knife. If you want to get somebody under $30, the biggest knife that you could possibly find, I don't know if you could find a better one than this. It'll take a beating. It is a good knife, sharp, and the sheath is a good sheath. So as far as the $30 budget range, I'm scratching my head because there's some good knives up here. Cold Steel and CRKT, they have some good price points for their knives. As far as for me personally, I don't know. I like this Cold Steel Kyoto. It is just a cool knife. I'll call it a mini sword. It's my mini katana. But these are the options that I found, and I will tell you, I spent a couple hours on Blade HQ putting filters, pricing it less than 30 bucks, and trying to figure out what fixed blade I could recommend to you. Now I know 3 of these were neck knives, but they are some pretty good neck knives. This CRKT spear point, I don't know if you can find a better neck knife than this. I know some of y'all have your own opinions, but overall this is just a great little neck knife. The S.P.E.W is good. Again, I worry about the thinness of the blade and that breaking. I know we use knives the way we're not supposed to, so that would be my only concern, because I'm going to use a knife. I might use it as a screwdriver. I might use it as a, I don't really I try not to use it as a pry bar, because my wife got me a pry bar from Temu that I've kept, and I use this to pry things with. So if you have any other ideas of knives less than 30 bucks, make sure you put the names in the comments below, or you can post it in our private Facebook group. It's called EDC Loadout Lounge. Make sure you like and subscribe on this video. That way more people can see it, and I can continue making videos like this for you guys. I really appreciate y'all. I hope I am doing a good job for you guys. I want to put out good quality videos the best I can right now. Be on the lookout for the adventure video on Friday, and yeah, we'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.